Один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Маниса Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rosa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник. По вторникам мы сразу просыпаемся и говорим «Thank God it's Tuesday», потому что по вторникам с нами проводят... Вот у нас большой был перерыв, но наконец-то мы опять возобновили наше время с раввином Манисом Фридманом в передаче «Thank God it's Tuesday», где мы можем многом подчеркнуть просто позитивного, светлого, духовного, мудрого, и поэтому, не теряя совершенно времени, я хочу обратиться к нему. Вопрос у нас сегодня: наше нынешнее духовное состояние мира. Мы всегда должны узнать у него. Это лучшие новости, которые у нас есть на нашем радио вообще. Вот, узнать от него, в каком направлении движется мир духовно. И, естественно, нам Рэбе обещал, что мы сейчас, наш The Рэбе обещал, что мы находимся в состоянии искупления. Но что-то почитаешь новости, посмотришь, что вокруг происходит, и начинаешь сильно сомневаться, так ли это. Вот именно с этими двумя вопросами мы обратимся к раввину Манису Фридману. Rabbi Manis Friedman, thank God it's Tuesday. Thank God it's Tuesday, and we get this incredible opportunity to spend this time with you and get your wisdom and your guidance and a good perspective on life that you always are able to give us. I don't know how it is that you possess this magic that the rest of us really don't. So hopefully we'll be able to catch it from you. And today's topic, as I just said it in Russian to our audience, is what is the spiritual state of the world? The Rebbe in 1991 has promised us, has declared, not promised, declared that the redemption has started. But then we look around and we see wars, we see so much toxicity around, we see riots that we were promised that are coming now, spreading from LA all over America. And we do wonder, Is this redemption? Is this what redemption looks like? Are we really going through the times of redemption? So this is something we need to address to you, and hopefully you show us what we're missing if we don't see it.
Well, first of all, we missed you at the Russian Shabbaton.
Yes, I missed the Russian Shabbaton, but we had a wedding on Sunday in the day, so took precedence over the Shabbaton.
Very nice. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much.
Did you hear any reports? Did you hear any...
Yes, that it was phenomenal. That it was phenomenal as always, and everyone I spoke with is very in great spirits and good mood. Loved all the lectures. Goes without saying, your lectures. that's a given, and many other speakers, and in general, of course, the entire atmosphere. Entertainment, and the food is always a big thing there. The food was great. Everybody mentioned the food. So, but yeah, unfortunately, we had to miss the Shabbaton. Usually we don't. We're there every year. You see us there every year. So hopefully next year we'll have the opportunity. If we're not in Israel, hopefully we'll be in Israel celebrating.
So the most popular, well-attended speech was about what's going on in Israel. Like, is there any good news? Which is, of course, on everybody's mind. They used an example, which it's helpful. As we get closer to Mashiach, shouldn't it become prettier? If all the major evils have been taken care of and all we have to do is put on the finishing touches, shouldn't it look better? feel better, smell better. So they use the example, if you're cleaning out an old wine barrel, when you start cleaning, it's not so terrible. When you get to the bottom, literally the bottom, that's where all the stuff has been sitting and has gotten hard. And so yes, it's the end. It's the finishing step to cleaning out the barrel, but the bottom of the barrel is the stinkiest. And that's why, apparently, things have gotten worse, uglier. But it's the bottom of the barrel. There isn't much left to do. Can that take about 20 years? Given the darkness and the ignorance and the bad habits that the world has developed? Yeah, 20 years is not a long time. If you can fix a world in 20 years, so all the rioting, does not amount to a rebellion. It's just noise. It's not like a real rebellion. People want to burn cars and throw rocks. They don't want to give their lives to a cause. As soon as it gets dangerous, they run away. It's not a real rebellion. It's just frustration. Everybody's frustrated. Why? Because things are not better. Now, of course, brainless people will attribute all of our problems to the wrong causes. What's wrong with the world is Palestine. Really? That's what's wrong with the world? Nothing else? So, of course, we interpret our problems according to the limitations of our imagination. But the fact that the whole world is frustrated means that there's something global going on. People run together the Palestinian problem with the American border problem, with racism. Whatever problem there is on everybody's mind. So if you look at the bottom line is the world is not happy with the world. There's this comedian who says, I've come to the conclusion that human beings are not good people. It's a very cute observation. But actually, this unrest, this frustration, is a compliment. It's a good sign. The world needs to be better. And that it doesn't get better is frustrating human beings. Why do we care? We have a sense of responsibility. It was not the case years ago. Nobody felt responsible for the world. Leave me alone and I'm fine. I don't want to hear your problems. I don't want to hear politics. Now, all of a sudden, every schmendrick who hasn't finished high school is upset about Palestine. What does that mean? And they don't know where it is. They don't know where Oregon is. But they're upset. We have to look at the compliment in that. People feel personally disturbed that the world is not better. And after all, what exactly is Mashiach? Of course, there's the man, the descendant of David HaMelech, who will come and be the leader and bring the world to its perfection. But what is world perfection? What does that even mean? In very simple language, there are some very dull souls, pathetic, who are perfectly content with the world as it is now. Well, until something bad happens to them. Otherwise, yes, there'll always be wars. There always has been. There always will be. There will always be crime. What are you complaining about? Just stay away from the dangerous places. There'll always be tragedy. There'll always be... And that's the way it is, and just accept it. Damaged souls. Anyone who says, no, the world's got to get better. This is it? No, it can't be. World has to get better. That's Mashiach. In principle, Mashiach means we will arrive at a conclusion. We're not on a treadmill. History will not just go on forever, evolving into no particular... No, there is an end goal. God has a plan. The plan will succeed. And when it succeeds, we will have arrived. We're not running in circles. This unrest and this frustration that people are feeling, even young people, is a sign that we can't make peace with what's going on. We can't accept that this is about as good as it gets. Can't. The strange thing is, a lot of this unrest and disillusionment started when things were pretty good. Before all this seemingly new evil erupted, people were unhappy. It was, let's for the Jewish people, for example. A couple of years ago, the Jewish condition in the world was better than it had ever been in history. Aside from the times when we were in Israel under a good king. But for the last 2,000 years, it was the best it has been. And people were not happy. And that discontent built and grew. And the discontent produced the mobs and the protests and the screaming and the shouting and the burning of cars. Of course, there's also a political motivation. People are paying rioters. They're organizing the riots. But why are people so willing to join? And why the enthusiasm that they have? It's because we should be done by now, and it's frustrating that we're not yet there. I think a good example is that you sit on an airplane for 8 hours flying off to Israel, and you're okay. 8 hours, you sit, you dream, you fall asleep. Then you land in Tel Aviv, and you're told that the gate is not ready. and you get so angry. It's so frustrating. What, 10 minutes? 10 more minutes? 8 hours is fine. 8 hours and 10 minutes? No. It's a natural thing. We've arrived already. We landed already. Now what? So the frustrations of the last minutes are particularly annoying.
Rabbi Friedman, you said the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes is doable, but then a little while ago you said 20 years, and that kind of really, I'm sure, kind of spared everybody listening. 20 years of this is I'm not sure if it's that bearable, even though it's...
It's all relative. 8 hours of flying versus 10 minutes of waiting, 2,000 years of struggle, and now 20 years of cleansing. So you said, did I ever said it 1991? Mm-hmm. It's more than 20 years already, right?
So are we there yet?
Okay, so this is the frustration.
Yeah.
Because we all sense we should have arrived by now. For the Rebbe, 1991 was, we should have arrived by now. And the Rebbe kept saying, there's no explanation, there's no excuse. Why isn't Mashiach here? It's like, we've landed. What are we waiting for?
Rabbi Friedman, yeah, and the Rebbe said that we're the last generation of exile and the first generation of redemption. But then I have a question about generation. What did he mean by generation? Is it our parents, us, our children, our grandchildren? What is a generation in this sense?
Well, the Rebbe was lobbying for a generation to mean 40 years. If not, okay, 100 years. If not, okay, a lifetime. But generation could also mean project. 40 years in the desert. That was a generation. Why? Because it was a project that began and ended. The next generation was involved in a completely different project. Settling the land. The years of settling the land was a generation. No matter how many years it took, it was a generation. The generation that settled the land. 400 years under Shlomo HaMelech. That was a generation, because after that we went into Golus. So generation could mean a project, a period of time defined by what's going on. So the Rebbe's generation means the generation preparing for Mashiach. Maybe that's why there's not another Rebbe. Because this generation has a Rebbe, meaning this project has a Rebbe. A new Rebbe would mean a new project. We're not done with this one. What's going to be the new project? Living in Israel with a Beis HaMikdash. Well, that's Mashiach's business. Can't take his job away.
Rabbi Friedman, the Rebbe also told us to internalize Mashiach, to make room for Mashiach. What did he mean by that?
He meant to appreciate the real changes that Mashiach will make, not the surface changes. There'll be no war, nobody will suffer, everybody will be happy. Okay. Why? What will make everybody happy? because everybody will be able to afford a mortgage. Now, come on. Don't do that. Appreciate Mashiach for what Mashiach really is. The world will be filled with the knowledge of God so that nothing else will matter. Nothing else will be significant. And so, of course, we won't have problems. There's something I think we need to put a little emphasis on. The hostages who have been released come home. There's something strange, mystical, divine. First of all, they all come home and immediately become public figures. Don't they need a few years to recover, hiding someplace, doing deep therapy? They were horribly traumatized, abused. And they come out and they become celebrities. And they're traveling the world and they're speaking and they're lecturing. And every one of them? Okay, if one or two. And they're all saying the same thing. From the first day that I was kidnapped, I knew God was with me. This is not belief in God. That's old story. This is a relationship that is real and tangible. They knew God was there with them. And it wasn't just an awareness. It strengthened them. It motivated them, kept them dignified. So the first thing we have to do is really, really be impressed. There's something divine. It's not normal. It's not human. Now, maybe the shock hasn't sunk in yet. Maybe a year from now, they're going to need more therapy. Maybe. Every hero eventually needs therapy. You pay a price for being a hero. When you're young and strong, you can hold it together and you can be heroic. When you get a little weaker and you don't have that energy, it all comes back and you have to deal with it. Maybe. That doesn't make the heroes any less of a hero. Right now, these hostages, as young as they are, they're so heroic. They're spiritual giants. You don't expect this for people who go on Simchas Torah to a Nova music festival. They went there completely without awareness, and they came back with a relationship that is enviable. A relationship with God. These are incredibly special people. Hand-picked, it seems. Now, what effect did this have on the people who were holding them? The people who saw them every single day, who tortured them. They must have come away with an incredible respect for these hostages. How could they not? How could they not? They think they believe in God. They think they have a relationship with God. But in the hostages, they saw what a relationship with God means, and it puts them to shame. They cannot be the same people they were. The hostages have become their conscience. They have to be in awe of these tzaddikim. That's got to bring a very serious change in their belief, in their religion, in their commitment, in their fanaticism. They've seen the real thing. Now they can't fake it anymore. That's going to bring a great internal change in Islam. So,
yeah.
There's a lot of unprecedented godliness that is happening in front of our eyes. It's not hidden. It's public knowledge. There's films. There's audio, visual. We see it. We hear it. The whole world sees it and hears it. But we need to focus a little bit, people's attention. You're worried about the people who are rioting in LA. Look at these hostages and marvel and be inspired.
I'd like to add something to what you said. Just yesterday, I was at the round table with Mayor Adams and Commissioner Tisch. They are concerned that the riots are going to spill over to New York, and they gathered a group of Jewish media to have a round table on the topic. But the most exciting thing is that they're right now concentrating on educating the entire city of New York. In other words, every city agency, and there are a lot of city agencies in every borough, in every place. So anybody who receives funding from the New York City will have a representative that will do education to for everybody regarding what Jewish people are, who we are, what's tolerance, how people are supposed to be treating each other. Every agency that gets city funding is going to have a representative. That just came out yesterday. Also, there's a whole department now in the mayor's office that fights anti-Semitism, which is good, but that's not the exciting part. There's more things going on recently. I just heard Netanyahu's address to Yeshiva Bachrims, who quoted Rashi, Rashi's commentary on Torah. He said Israel was given to the Jewish people. I mean, this is great that now Netanyahu quotes Torah, and so this is another thing. And this is the last one is really something that just took place last Thursday. World Zionist Congress is now has a majority of Orthodox delegates, which is something that is incredible, because the Congress was everything but about orthodoxy or having religious Jews there, and now we have the upper hand. So strange things are happening, very, very strange things. So I just wanted to share it because we're kind of living it. But Rabbi Fridman, the last thing that I wanted to address with you today, if it's okay, it's about the seminar, the 4-day seminar that you're giving right now online about relationship toxicity. And I think it's extremely important because obviously if there's so much toxicity around us, it has to probably spill over into all levels of relationships. And my first question is actually, do we have more of it now than we ever had in our lifetime, or relationship toxicity is an age-old question that has existed, or is it something that is way more elevated now than ever before?
Well, people are more uncomfortable with themselves. They're obviously going to make the people around them uncomfortable. So yeah, the frustration level the anxiety level, it's very difficult to live with. But I think in all of the above, everything we've talked about, it's not so much the bad stuff that is going on, it's more the good stuff that is missing. The evil is not as evil as it used to be, but there used to be goodness to balance it. There were the Nazis and there were the Allies. There were good guys and bad guys. Now, we're not even sure who the good guys are or who the bad guys are. So, it's the emptiness, it's the vacuum that is the problem. If you don't fill life with goodness, yeah, it'll become toxic. The one ingredient that we can talk about, there isn't enough compassion. We have compassion for children who are starving, who are paper thin, who are suffering from flies that keep eating at them. Okay. Only that extreme arouses a little bit of compassion? A little bit? There needs to be compassion in every relationship. Imagine every human being would sit back and think, being married to me is not easy. It's a pity on my spouse. If every friend would think, being my friend is not always a picnic. It's a pity on my friends that they have to put up with me. That alone would make the world infinitely better than it is now. Any man who thinks, what has my wife got to complain about? Being married to me is a pleasure. You're cruel. It's not easy to be married to anyone, even to the best of human beings. And we're not the best of human beings. So where's the compassion? Wouldn't that change the world?
So, Rabbi Friedman, we have to come from a premise that every relationship is difficult?
Of course. To put up with my shtick? How could it not be difficult? I'm intruding on your life. I'm trespassing into your territory, and you're supposed to love it? Compassion makes the world go round. And we have no compassion. We're competitive, we're jealous, we're critical. We blame everyone around us. There's no compassion. So life becomes very uncomfortable and unpleasant.
Rabbi Friedman, isn't everyone like that? Yet some people make it work and others don't. Isn't what you described characteristic to everybody out there?
So I wonder if those who make it work aren't successful because they have a little bit of compassion. I mean, look, the narcissist obviously has no compassion. I'm great, there's something wrong with you. That's got to go. And again, it's not that the problem is not narcissism. The problem is what is missing that is being replaced by narcissism. So you left a vacuum, narcissism comes in to fill the vacuum. But if there was compassion there wouldn't be narcissism.
Rabbi Friedman, I'm I actually signed up for this course because I'm very interested in a lot of things that are coming up, and a lot to learn here. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody. If somebody still wants to join in, it's not too late. It's still going on, and the catch up is very easy. Just one session has been missed for now, which has been recorded and could be made up. So if anybody out there is interested in this incredible course of how to get rid of toxic relationships, there's a lot more. How to bring peace, not tension, how to give without losing yourself. There's so many amazing topics to be covered, and I'm very excited for all of them. You can still find out more information and join on itsgoodtoknow.org. Rabbi Fridman, we have just a couple of minutes left, unfortunately, as always. Time flies very quickly. If you were to give... compassion is a big one, but will compassion resolve everything? Or are there more ingredients that people need in order for all these relationships that, and it seems like all of them are painful one way or another at one time or another. Isn't there, I think that this is basically probably the reason why we want Mashiach now, because this simple thing, people love each other, yet they always hurt each other. The most loving relationships are still painful. Is there a way to eliminate the pain of the relationships, even the good ones that are based on love and respect and compassion and understanding? There's still pain there. Is there a way to eliminate it?
The pain doesn't have to be eliminated. We should feel the other's pain and not only our own, and it will make our relationships deeper and better and higher and greater. An employee has no compassion for the employer. And the employer thinks, these ungrateful people, I work myself to the bone to give them a job, and all they do is complain. So he has no compassion for the worker. Now, I'm not talking about universal compassion. I'm not talking about people who are worried about babies in Gaza. That's cheap. In your own life every day, why have you no compassion on the people you're hurting? Oh, I don't hurt anybody. You're so cruel. So the pain is there because we're trying to do something bigger than life. The solution is stop focusing on your pain, focus on the other pain. That makes you not the victim, but the solution. You focus on your own pain, you're a victim. That doesn't do anybody any good.
Is it even possible, though? I mean, it sounds like an answer, but is it possible?
Of course it's possible. Any human being with a drop of intelligence knows I'm not easy to get along with. You don't need a psychiatrist to convince you of that. You can't be. So what are you expecting from others? Every husband has to have compassion for his wife. It changes the energy at the home. It changes the energy of the relationship. It creates at least the opportunity for some love, for some softness, for some empathy. That's what relationships are made of. So yes, that alone is doable and can change the world.
Amazing, Rabbi Friedman. Thank you so much. And I just want to remind people that it's goodtoknow.org. You want to learn about relationships. The time is now. Don't miss this opportunity. And I am so grateful that I know about this course and I am able to join it. Looking forward to tonight at 8 o'clock. And Rabbi Friedman, as always, tremendous gratitude for this wisdom that it's uncompromising wisdom that realistically we don't get anywhere else. We just get it here from you. I mean, we get it from you, everywhere you are. Let's make that clear. So thank you so much. Thank you for this time that you have allocated for us today and that you so graciously allocate for us and all the things that you do for the entire world when it really needs it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Only good news.
Amen. Only good news. Ну, а всем, кто нас слушал, огромное вам спасибо. Спасибо, что вы есть. Спасибо, что мы все стараемся стать лучше вместе и сделать этот мир лучше по мере наших возможностей. А возможности у нас, между прочим, неисчерпаемые. Не забывайте об этом. Вот с этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, передача Thank God It's Tuesday. Прощаемся со всеми. До следующей недели.